Hey guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com, and I'm going to do another quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements for the week ending October 17th, 2016. This is episode number 65 of the recap, and the first bit of news this week comes from Square Enix, and it's a big one. During Fan Festival 2016 in Las Vegas, which I actually attended, Square Enix announced the second expansion to Final Fantasy XIV called Stormblood, and it's set to launch in early summer of 2017. A lot of big changes in the expansion, most notably multiple new jobs, which will all be announced at a later date. Red Mage, maybe. A new level cap of 70 for all classes, a 4th residential area, and much more. The expansion itself will explore Al Amigo, and it looks like it'll be offering a ton of new content. If you've played FF14 in the past, this should give you a great reason to come back. No word on exactly when the expansion launches just yet, but it'll be in early summer of 2017. Next up, another big piece of news this week, Revelation Online enters closed beta on October 25th, and it'll run until November 8th. And yes, this is the game's first closed beta, so it means there should be more closed betas coming shortly afterwards. The fact that there will be multiple closed betas is a tad disappointing because the game has been out in China for some time, so I was kind of hoping for some quicker release schedules here in the West. Closed beta 1 players can level to 49 and participate in 10v10 PvP, explore 4 dungeons, and access to 4 different difficulties. More should be available at the game's launch. Up next, a brand new Ragnarok MMORPG, Ragnarok Spear of Odin, looks to be announced from Gravity, and it's an action MMORPG, and it'll be on mobile. Unfortunately, not too much is known about the game. We do know it's being developed by a Korean studio called Neo Cyan, pronouncing that horribly wrong, but based on the gameplay we're seeing in the background, it looks to be an action-based MMORPG, and it has some actual multiplayer components, and I say actual because if you look at games like Heroes Incredible Tales, Devilian Mobile, and a few other titles, there's very limited mobile multiplayer interaction. It looks like here you can actually party up with players, which is a nice touch. But no word on a release date just yet. All we know is it's being worked on, and it's going to be a Korea release first, and then maybe a global release afterwards. Moving right along, we have yet another Awakening Black Desert Online. This time, it's the Ranger. And along with the Ranger Awakening, we have the Ocean update, which includes not only the Awakening, but a whole bunch of other goodies, namely some aesthetic changes for the water in the game, as well as class changes and balance tweaks for the rest of the characters. And also Black Desert related, we did see the Korean version of the game get a pretty big update, and they did release the Wizard Awakening in the Korean version 6 months after the original announcement, so Black Desert Korea is making progress as well. But yeah, say what you will about Black Desert Online, the game's graphics are still gorgeous. Moving right along, we have a bit of news from Cloud Pirates. The game's closed beta begins on October 18th, and they've already started selling Founders Packs. Closed beta will run until October 24th, and hopefully afterwards it'll go right to open beta, but we'll find out more when they release more news. If you want to check the game out in closed beta, register on my.com, and you may have a chance of getting to the closed beta. Otherwise, you do have to buy a Founders Pack to get guaranteed access. With Cloud Pirates, with Revelation, my.com is definitely making a big push in the West. I'm curious what they'll bring next. Up next, a bit of odd news from Nostalrius. Yes, the private World of Warcraft server. They post on their forums that BlizzCon would be a great place to announce legacy servers, and if Blizzard doesn't take the opportunity to do so, they will have to do something about it, which clearly leads me to believe that we may have another Nostalrius private server from the folks at Nostalrius, which isn't really big news because you can always find legacy servers on private servers, but they were shut down by Blizzard and they met with Blizzard, so for them to make another server would be kind of interesting, but there is some drama brewing over there, and we'll find out more hopefully soon. And move right along, we have Gigantic's closed beta set to begin on October 20th, which I believe is the first closed beta after Arc Games picked up service for Gigantic, because the game had a bit of a checkered history. It was working exclusively with Microsoft to be Windows 10 exclusive, and since then they kind of changed direction, and now they're working with Perfect World / Arc Games, and they're going to be publishing it now, and they had layoffs, they've changed the game, but it looks like the game is making progress, which is good. The closed beta will go from October 20th to October 23rd. Moving right along, Darkfall Rise of Agon can now be played free until October 24th. So yes, you can try the game completely for free until then. And alongside the free trial, the developer is pushing for sales as the game is 25% off during this period. Go ahead and check out Darkfall Rise of Agon. Now is probably the best time to do so because it is free. Next up, a bit of controversial news from Nexon regarding Riders of Icarus. The game released a feature where players can sell cash shop items for in-game currency, a feature that caused quite a bit of controversy in Black Desert Online and Elder Scrolls Online, and I believe a few other games. However, not every single item is available for resale, just certain items selected by the team at Nexon America. I imagine a lot of players will be upset over it, but I'm sure they did it because it'll make them a lot of money. Next up, a small bit of news for Echo of Soul. The game officially relaunched in Korea through Kakao Games, which is best known for publishing Black Desert Online. It's worth mentioning that the game is actually doing surprisingly decent in South Korea. In fact, it's doing better in South Korea than it is in North America. Much better actually, which is surprising. It's actually the 34th or so most played MMORPG in South Korea according to Game Notes. And for people still playing in North America, the game doing well in South Korea is definitely a good sign, as the developer makes more money and they can afford to push out more content. So you always want to see a game doing well if you like it. Moving right along, MMOs.com released a new gameplay trailer for the Outlaw in SkyForge, the latest class. The new class is available in the game already and can be accessed instantly if you purchase it for $34.99 with the Outlaw's Collector's Edition pack. Otherwise, you do have to unlock it with in-game means. Outlaw is, I believe, the 14th class to be at the SkyForge, which is quite a bit. Up next, Battleborn's first DLC and new game mode launched this last week, and players are asking if you can save the game. Actually, I'm quite impressed with the bump the game's player base has had since the update launched. The DLC can be purchased for 700 Platinum, or it comes included if you own the Season Pass or purchased a digital deluxe edition for the game. Beyond the PvE DLC, there is a new competition mode called Face Off that's actually free. It's available to everyone for free. It sends players off in a 5v5 15-minute match where instead of fighting each other, they fight an NPC called Vorlesi, and whichever team collects the most masks wins. The player base is definitely doing better, and I'm hoping it improves, but I still suspect Battleborn will go free to play at some point, but that's just my guess. Moving right along, Russian-developed MMORPG Project Genom officially launched onto Steam Early Access this last week. It is a buy-to-play game, and it's available for, I believe, $15. It is on sale for the time being. Few sci-fi MMORPGs out there. The sci-fi genre does not get enough love. I know Gumby's been playing Project Genom this last week, and he's so far enjoyed it quite a bit. But do keep in mind, it is still an early access project, and there is still a lot of work to be done. So if you like sci-fi, maybe check it out. Graphically speaking though, the game does look quite good, at least based on this trailer in the background, but then again, trailers always look pretty cool. Also in game launches, we have free-to-play MMO Crush Online, which officially launched this last week. It's been in open beta for some time, but it launched officially, and it is available on Steam. It's a unique mix of MMORPG and MOBA. We did do a Sunday Funday video for it, so if you're curious, check that out. But yeah, if you want to check out Crush Online, it's free to play. That's always a selling point, you know, it's free to play. Next up, a pretty big update for Tree of Savior. The game released rank 8 as part of its huge update. The update increased the game's level cap for both characters and companions to 330, maximum team level has been increased to 100, and 32 new quests as well as 3 new field bosses have all been added. It's actually a huge update, mainly aimed at people that are already at late game. And despite the game's little bit of a checkered history and bumpy ride, it still gets about 4,000 concurrent users at any given time according to Steam charts, which is still quite great actually. Up next, a bit of news about WildStar. Game director Chad Moore discusses the game's future in a developer blog post on their official website. Most immediately, we do have an update called Shades Eve, which is basically their Halloween celebration. But what's interesting is that Carbine Studios is still actively working on the game and they're discussing future content updates, and it shows you that the game isn't dead yet. So if you want to give WildStar a try, you might as well check it out, because people have been saying it was going to die for years now, and it still seems to be going. The Steam player base is still sitting about 500 concurrent users, which is not bad, because plenty of people are still playing on the client, the regular client, which doesn't get counted on the Steam numbers. So the game is definitely not dead just yet. Anyway guys, that's it for MMO News this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Later guys.